What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome back to another video. It's your host Ray. Today's video is a Gemini Jets model rant. Unfortunately, due to a lot of circumstances, this video cannot be a model review because um, I am highly disappointed, to say the least, in Gemini Jets, and I'll explain why. The model in question is the Gemini Jets 1:400 scale Alaska Airlines Airbus A320 Fly with Pride special livery, released in December of 2021. I got these models a few weeks ago, and at first they look okay, but after a bit of inspection, just the quality on these models, it's appalling. And yeah, I'd like to talk about it. So without further ado, let's go. I'm going to talk about the problems that each of the three models I have here has. And I ordered all of these off of the Alaska Airlines company store. And the reason I bought three of them was because, one, I wanted insurance in case one of the models was terribly defective. And so I could get rid of that one and then keep the better one. And the other reason was because I wanted to gift these to one of my friends. But that's probably not going to happen because these models are just terrible quality. So I'll go over each one individually, and that'll be that. First up, which is the first one I opened, this one I nicknamed the Deformed Flying Machine. And for those of you who are familiar with the Airbus A320 shapes and features, you don't have to look at this for more than 5 seconds to realize that this model is terribly wrong. For those of you who aren't as familiar, I'll point that out right now. Take a look at that nose and compare it to any other Airbus A320 nose. Here, let me move my finger. Take a look at that nose. The top of it looks like part of an A320, but the bottom portion here, the nose cone, looks like it came off of a 737. It's just awful, and you can see down here that like it kind of bulges right here, and then it goes back to the normal size to where like the landing gear hole is. The nose just looks awful. It's way too pointy. Here's from the top. It just looks way too pointy. It's not an A320 nose. Just that's basically what it is. Rest of the model looks fine except for the oversized engines. Nothing was loose. Nothing was out of place. You can see the gears kind of loose here. The gears, all three of them roll, but things get really ugly when you realize that Gemini Jets tried to put a 787 tail on this. You can see that the tail is obviously wrong. The top section here, which is supposed to be parallel to the ground, has kind of a bend upwards. Here, I'll show you from the side. This looks like a 787 tail instead of an A320 tail, so it's just appalling. And unfortunately, I think this one's probably the higher quality out of all three of the models, so I can't wait to show you what else these have. Next up, this one looks pretty standard, and I'd say it competes for first with in terms of normalcy. At a first glance, it looks just fine, honestly. It looks great, but after further inspection, the first thing I noticed was the winglet, the wingtip here, the wingtip fence. It's kind of bent inwards. Now, I don't exactly have a problem with that because I can probably fix that, but at the same time, I might not be able to fix that because I might end up breaking the wingtip. So that was really upsetting to see. But the part that upset me the most was the landing gear. Take a good look at the main landing gear for me and tell me what you see. You can see that this one has obviously been re-glued, and whoever re-glued it didn't do a very good job. There's a lot of paint missing from it. There's a sizable gap. It's just awful. It's appalling. The balance on this model looks fine though, so this might actually end up being the one that I keep. The other two, I'm not sure what I want to do with them. But yeah, it looks pretty awful. But the wheels do roll, except the nose wheel is kind of stiff, but the wheels do roll. Overall, pretty bad. But at least the nose is fine and the tail is fine, unlike the last one. Yeah, that was pretty saddening. And of course, the engines on all of these are way oversized. This one is probably the most disappointing of all the three, behind the one with the messed up nose. First, let me address the elephant in the room. One of the wheels from the main landing gear fell off. It just straight up fell off, and that's how I opened it. And this is the one that fell off is the only one that rolls. But if I try to reattach the wheel or something, or yeah, the wheel right here, it rubs up against this little tiny thing, like protrusion here. You can barely see it, but it's right there. It rubs up against that, and then the wheel can't roll, and the wheels can't roll, and the wheel itself can't fit on there properly. So I'd have to do some major modification. Oh, and also this one, it's even worse. There's a lot more paint missing, so this one also fell off. So terrible gear quality control. But the worst part about this one is the paint job. The paint job is just absolutely appalling. Let me try and zoom in on this for you. Back here, it's very hard to notice at first glance, but once I point it out, you can't unsee it. You might actually be able to see it pretty well. Take a look at the white, like right here, and then compare it to the white right here in between the windows, and right here with like these pride signs or the airplanes here. You can notice it's kind of darker than the rest of the white, and it looks as if someone, it looks as if it wasn't covered in enough coats of paint, and there's like a red paint layer or red or orange paint layer under this. And right here you can see there was also another paint issue here. Someone tried repainting something, or it just wasn't finished drying and it got messed up. Very awful looking overall. Ironically enough, the right side of this model looks just fine, so I guess there's that. It has that going for it. Overall, I'm very upset at the model quality I received. I'm not sure what I want to do with these. I might just sell these for really cheap online and see if anyone wants them. But yeah, it's really messed up, and you can see on the back of all of the Gemini Jets boxes, these models are quote unquote as real as it gets. Highly collectible, superior quality. Let's see, realistic metal landing gear. These three and this are blatant lies. And it just gets 1,000 times worse when you realize Gemini Jets increased prices by up to $4 on each of their models from the February release. And it just really goes to show what kind of a company Gemini Jets is. I'm not going to actively slam them right now, but I'm just going to try and convey my overall opinion on Gemini Jets. It really shows what kind of company they're trying to operate here. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys have any advice on what I should do, or if you guys actually want to buy one of these, just name your price and I might actually end up selling it on eBay. But that's all I have to say. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.